Good morning, everybody, again, and welcome to the WSU Extension Master Gardener Program March version of Staying Mission Driven. If you haven't already, just a couple of housekeeping items. Please put your county next to your name so that the volunteer who's checking everybody in can do that easier. She has to check everybody in according to county. And so it'll just make it easier for her if you've got your county in your.
I was going to say, for me, it would be great if I could not be checked in on Give Pulse because I'm on work time. So thank you.
Great. Thanks, Harmony. Yeah, I'm glad you said something. So anyway, you can put your county in by hovering over your Hollywood Square. 3 dots will appear in the upper right-hand corner. Click on those dots, and at the bottom of that list, you should have an option to rename yourself, and you can just add your county. All right. And also, I guess one more housekeeping item, please, use the chat to ask questions, unmute your mic, speak up, raise your hand. But if you raise your hand, I'm not necessarily going to see it because of the way my screen share works. So if somebody does raise their hand and I'm not seeing it, if I could get some help from Debbie Bembo or Harmony or somebody just to say, hey, so-and-so has their hand up, I'd appreciate that. All right. Wow, this is a super exciting time. A very busy time for our Extension Master Gardener program. It is the inaugural National Extension Master Gardener Week. This was, woohoo! Thanks, Harmony. This was initiated by WSU in celebration of the 50th, and we'll celebrate National Extension Master Gardener Week every year from here on out. So it is a very busy time, and I hope each of you are having fun getting ready for the gardening and educational outreach season and for all of the upcoming 50th anniversary celebrations. There's so much happening, and all of it is in celebration of the time, talent, and effort that each of you give in service to WSU. So I don't know exactly what all of you do in your counties, but I know you're here, and I know that the program matters to you, and that's evidenced by your participation in these meetings. So I want you to know that I appreciate all that you're doing for the Master Gardener program. And thank you again for taking time out of your day to be here. Communication is so very important to engage people in large matrixed organizations, like this one. And it's really hard to do well. There's just so much going on and so many different pieces that come together. So it just makes communication and messaging all the more difficult. Communication relies on people like you who attend these meetings, attend local program meetings, local foundation meetings, Master Gardener Foundation of Washington State meetings, and who stay in the know by reading and keeping up to date on through newsletters that come out through your local office or the state office or the state foundation. It relies on you to pay attention and help me spread the word and help others spread the word about what we're doing and needing to be doing. So thank you again. And local program and foundation. So Jim Kropp, your computer keeps unmuting and it's giving me a lot of feedback. I keep muting you, but I don't know why it keeps doing that. All right. So today's agenda, you can see it there on your screen. just a couple of short things. I'm going to start with the Northwest Flower and Garden Festival summary, and then I'm going to turn it over to Craig Lawrence, who will walk you through the new Hortsense that is ready to roll just in time for the gardening season. So the Northwest Flower and Garden Festival was such a great success, and the support from the WSU, the foundation support that we received was palpable during the festival. Volunteers from around the state attended the festival to learn and shop and to volunteer. Volunteers and residents from 25 counties in our state stopped by the booth to say hello and learn. And in fact, we had 24 states stopped by our booth. Canada, people from Canada and Mexico were represented too. There were lots of like Go Cougs, because we were, branded really well with the cougar head and on our 50th logo. So there was lots of Go Cougs bellowed at visitors, or as visitors passed by the booth. And this photo here, it's volunteers. I think that was Saturday, and Dean Wendy Powers spent the day working alongside of us. So it was a great time. And then I think, on a more personal note, for me, the way that the county foundations came together, the state foundation, led the way, pooled their resources to support a statewide activity, made me feel very proud of all that we've accomplished over the last few years. As most of you know, I have a personal vision. It's sort of the internal professional vision that I have for our program, that we are a cohesive statewide program of highly trained, competent, and engaged volunteers who know and can explain and communicate their purpose in support of the WSU Extension and WSU Master Gardener program mission, who can tell a compelling and impactful story about what we do and why it matters, and who are a go-to resource for communities, and who are empowered to plan, implement, deliver, and evaluate mission and vision achieving programming, all while maintaining that very important, local county focus of service. So our participation in that Northwest Flower and Garden Festival, I think, really exemplifies the progress we've made together on becoming that cohesive statewide program, or as Don Enstrom coined when he was president of the state foundation, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So again, what a great time was had by all. Here's a few of the stats from that show. Not all the conversations that we had with people were categorized into our 9 program priorities, but of the ones that were categorized, you can kind of see how the questions came in. Any questions about that? All right, so we're hoping to participate again next year. We've been in contact with the show, and the State Foundation is aware that we'd like to do it again, and we're working toward that effort. So thanks again, everybody who supported this. The Northwest Flower and Garden Festival is a great time. All right, Craig, next up is the Hortsense update. So I will stop sharing my screen for you to take over.
Thank you, Jennifer. And thank you all for coming today and allowing me to present to you the revamped Hortsense website. We've been working on this since the beginning of July 2022, and we're able to go live around the end of the first week in March. Carrie Foss out of Puyallup and Andrew Mack and I worked on this. And our goal was to create a site that was more user-friendly and responsive to smaller devices, phones and tablets and whatnot. So we've gone away from the typical cumbersome search functionality in the old site, and it's more of a visual search through menu-driven search. As you see on the site now, we have a bit more graphic presentation. The homepage is fairly similar with the 10 categories depicted there. And these are all also on the left side menu bar. So we have ornamentals, tree fruits, small fruits, vegetables, lawn and turf, vertebrates, weeds. We have the common problems, natural enemies, and pollinators. And I'm happy to announce to you today that our pollinators section has a brand new content just this beginning of this week on wasps. Previously, only bees were represented here, and we now have wasps. For years, you'd go to pollinators and you'd see that more information was coming soon, and it never came. But we were able to get that online this week, and I hope that you'll find that useful. So when you go to a category, I'll just select one. What you're going to get is a list of, in this case, vegetables. And when you click on that vegetable, you will find the list of diseases and insects. All of the information in the fact sheets was ported over from the old website. Very little has changed. I think in some cases, maybe there were some minor clarifications, but it's primarily the same. It's just visually a little bit different. And we continue to have approved pesticides and then information on non-chemical management. These are links to integrated pest management as before, and home and garden fact sheets as before. So these will look very, very similar in content, but visually they're going to be much more acceptable on smaller devices. If you feel like you need to print, we do not have print, and the PDF and the email buttons are no longer here. And we're working within the Washington State University web development system, and they don't provide that functionality. So if you need a PDF, what you're going to want to do is within your browser, and let me just explain, I'm using Windows 11, and this is the Edge browser. Most browsers I've checked this on have similar functionality to print. So if you select print, you're able to then select some form of a PDF printer. If you don't have one, there are several that you can download for free. I use a Bullzip PDF printer. As working for WSU here, I can't recommend any specific, so do your own due diligence and find your PDF printer. If you find that you get a little bit of spillover, you're usually able to go into more settings and reduce the size. You know, I went a little bit too much, but you can usually find an adequate number there to fit everything on one page, or to make the page break where you want it to. Print in color, PDF, or color or black and white. If you saved a PDF, then you're able to print, email those to people if you need to. You can also email them the links to the web pages. We added a weed photo gallery. There's 90 weeds presented in Hortsense, and now there is a gallery of weeds. We've just selected one of the many photos from each each of the fact sheets to present here. And you can go and see the fact sheet just by clicking on it. It'll give you the same information as before. Chemicals that are allowed for landscape areas, turf areas, fairground areas, and then a list of pictures. We are working to create a frequently asked questions section. I have a few that I'm working on and will present. If you're viewing this and you have some questions, please present them to either Jennifer or myself, and we'll try to get those incorporated. We want to keep the list of frequently asked questions small enough so that it's, you know, it's the main things that are stumping people, and not just a laundry list of every single question asked. One thing I want to point out is that in the breadcrumbs, these usually in most sites will lead you back to a specific page. These lead you to categories. And the way that we had to categorize things within this system, the WSU web development system did not allow us to actually create this site the way we wanted to. We had to really search around for some back end stuff, and that meant that we had to make some sacrifices. So when you click on one of the categories, one of these breadcrumbs, you will be led back to a list of weeds in this case, and then you can see more pages of that. Search functionality is not the same. If you want to search on something like carrot, click on that, and then you will see a list come up. One thing I want to point out is that the search engine is basically Google search, and a lot of these things are cached pages, and you will see some pages from the old site show up. So for instance, this one, if you see something that has search main with fact sheet ASPX, that is a link to the old site. But if you see something that is, you know, WSU edu and then fact sheet / carrot rustfly, that is an indication that it is on the new site. If you click something from the old site, you'll go directly back to the home page. If you click something on the new site, it'll take you to that fact sheet. You can try that out. The more this is used, the more the current site will replace all of those old cached pages. We've tried very hard to make sure that any of the old pages are directed back to the home page. With over 1,500 fact sheets, and it's not really practical to try to create a mapping of fact sheet to fact sheet because of the significant difference in the URLs. If you're in ornamentals, we have conifers, we have bulbs, flowers, conifers. You can use these buttons to drop down on the page. And again, you'll see diseases and insects for each. And then the fact sheets. You do have a plant list, and these should take you to a list of the apple category, for instance, and the main category and subcategories, and those again will just take you to in some cases to the page, and in some cases to the, if it's the main category, we've got them linked back to the category page. If it's a subcategory, it will show you a list of fact sheets in that subcategory.
So Craig, there's a couple of things in the chat. Do you want to take those now, or?
Yes.
Okay. So lots of, you know, somebody said looks much better on a smartphone, you know, exclamation point, just looked at it. So, and then there was another comment, wish Hortsense had a print or PDF button. Not sure why WSU web development doesn't support it. Is it not supported, or is it just not WordPress isn't capable of it?
WSU doesn't support it. And
Okay.
we asked for that functionality, and they basically said, with the improvements in web browsers over the years, and with web browsers having the ability to, print
PDF.
nicely and to be able to print PDF, that they felt that was sufficient. It's a button down system. We're not able to go in and download new plugins that would allow that functionality. So we're basically working within the WSU system.
Okay. So, but I remember when you and Carrie trained me on this, you've got the fact sheets. I forget the words you use, but when you do print them to PDF, you've got them programmed to only choose the fact sheet. It's not going to grab the whole screen.
Right. So let me show you that again. So if we're right now, normally if we were to just go in a normal web page and you just say print that page, you're going to get all of this stuff. And we've programmed this so that when you print, you're just going to get the fact sheet. Just
Right.
that you don't see any of the other menus. You do see the breadcrumbs here, because that's part of the page, but you don't see any of those other extraneous graphics or menu top menu bars and whatnot.
Okay, so you're essentially creating a PDF by doing this. It's kind of the same.
Yes, you can either print that straight to your printer or to a PDF. You're also most browsers can do this. Cancel this. And I'm sorry, that's not what I want to do. I want to click on this, and you can share, and you can send the link, the URL link to people via email, or you can post it or whatever you want to do with that URL, in addition to being able to print to your printer or as a PDF. So many of you might have file folders full of fact sheets that you give out to people. If you create a PDF, and then you can print those on demand, or you can put those in your folder. The one thing about that is you really want to look at those on a year-to-year basis, because one thing that we do, I shouldn't say we, because it's first for me, but is the annual review of pesticides. And once they do the review, and it was just completed for 2023, some pesticides went away. So there are some fact sheets now that do not have pesticides shown on them, where they might have been on there last year. So it's important to verify each year that your fact sheets, if you've got a stack of them printed in a folder somewhere, that you've got them, that you verify that the information is correct year to year. And usually about this time of year is when the review has been done, and
updates are made.
The fact sheets are updated if necessary. So
Okay,
anything that you've got from last year, I would be wary of that. I would look at them with a fine-tooth comb and make sure that they haven't changed.
Right. Okay. So then this question isn't in the chat, but as short an answer as you can give, so we can get to these other questions. If you go from your phone to Hortsense, how do you share that then with, I guess you could just do it with your phone. I mean, I'm probably.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really tried that, but
okay.
You should be able to share.
Right. I don't know why I was worried about that. Now walked it through my head. Okay. I was thinking about the whole print to PDF thing again, but that's not how you do it on a phone.
A lot of phones do have the ability to print. So, you might just check that out and see if you can send that to a printer.
Okay. So do you have a counter sort of behind the scenes in the application that allows you to see the number of times a subject or fact sheet?
No, we're not doing that, and primarily because there's just not the manpower to be able to monitor a site like that.
Okay, but it's possible eventually if we wanted to.
I would have to look at what WSU has available, but I would just say, yep, it potentially possible. We didn't research it.
Okay. So let's see. Somebody said, is there a mechanism to ask for new additions to Hortsense? So Hortsense is working through go ahead, Craig. I mean, I was just going
to give that to you to answer. So go ahead.
Okay. So Carrie Foss has always been the one that has managed this site. She is retiring, and Jim Kropp, Vicki McCracken, Todd Murray, and I are currently reviewing best next steps for making sure that Hortsense is available and the best being the best resource it can be for master gardeners and other users within WSU. So we're in transition right now, but the goal is to have some way to receive requests and make updates to Hortsense regularly. But I don't exactly know how that's going to happen yet. Can the files be saved, Craig?
Right. Well, if you're going to print to PDF, then once you have that PDF, you can save that PDF.
Okay. Which browser are you using, Craig?
I use Edge, but I have tested this on Chrome and Firefox, and on occasion I've looked at it on Safari. I haven't run into any issues. I know there's a number of other browsers out there, and I think that WSU Web Design System is intended to work on pretty much everything. So I'm going with them.
And then do the fact sheets have revision updates on them? I see a revision.
Well, yeah. So those revision dates that you're going to see on there is the date that we actually entered it, and it's something that was a little bit tricky to do the way it was in the past and to maintain those. So I wouldn't look at that in the same way that you did before. In fact, that might actually go away because it is really the date that it was published.
And then the last one, is there a recommended browser? It doesn't sound like it. It works on all the different.
Whatever you have, I would give that a try. If you have trouble with it, just try another. There's so many, I typically use 3 different browsers because I'm always testing things. So.
Okay, one last question in the chat and then we'll move on. Could you tell us which PDF application you use?
Well, that depends. If I'm just viewing, a lot of them come up in my browser. If I'm printing to PDF, actually the first one that I see, I like Bullzip myself on a personal level. It's free. It's pretty straightforward. There's a couple other applications that company provides that allows you to do some merging. You'd have to do some searching to get to that, but there are others as well.
Great. Thank you so much, Craig. There's a lot
Thank you for the opportunity.
Comments in the chat. Everybody's very appreciative of all the work that went into it. Makes it easier for us to use and search. And
I just want to reiterate again, if you do have questions that maybe a lot of people are asking, if you let Jennifer or me know, as I develop the frequently asked questions page, we'll see if they fit or if they're appropriate, and hopefully we'll have something in there in the not too distant future.
Thanks, Craig. All right, so next on our list, we're going to move back into the 50th anniversary world. And what you're seeing in front of you is a snapshot of what the commemorative magazine looks like. So and this magazine will be for sale soon. We're going to, pricing and logistics are still being figured out, but it will be available at the kickoff event on April 8th. It will be available for online purchase, and it will be available at all of the events around the regional events happening around the state. This magazine was a complete labor of love from the 50th anniversary team and from the team of writers who did the work to pull all of this together, and from program coordinators and lead volunteers in the community, in your local programs, who helped us make sure we had the stories that highlight everything we do across our state, the photos, captions for the photos. It was a fun, hard labor of love, but the end result, when I started reading it, I couldn't really put it down. I mean, it's such a testament to all of the important work being done by volunteers in an effort to build resilient, healthy communities and a healthy planet. So I hope that you want to get your hands on this, and we'll buy a copy of the magazine when it becomes available to you. And we'll make sure that everybody knows when it's available. All right. I want now to talk about 50th anniversary events coming up. And this week is National Extension Master Gardener Week. I think most of you know that already. We've been posting on all of our social media sites about National Extension Master Gardener Week. Most of us are posting in the morning and at night. Nationally, the National Master Gardener Program is posting as well. There's about 20, maybe a few more, 20 plus states who are posting and celebrating National Extension Master Gardener Week across the country. I think Debbie's going to be putting in a few chat links in the chat for you, so you can kind of see what these are. But if you want to get involved with posting on social media, we have a sort of a plan that you can use, and I'm pretty sure Debbie's putting that in the chat. Also, there's the history of our program story that got posted on our Connors website, which is cool. I think that it's probably the most well-written story about the history of our program that I've seen. It really gives you an opportunity to see inside of the folks at the beginning of our program who were trying to get our program off the ground. The regional kickoff events, oh my goodness, right around the corner. So April 8th is the first one. And I was on a call just the other day and somebody said, well, at next week's kickoff event. And I'm like, not next week. It can't be next week. What's the date? So we still have a couple weeks on that. Tana Hassert and her team, Jayla Smith, Todd Murray, and Tatum Weed and Charity, they're working diligently to have that event ready to roll on April 8th. It's from 1 to 4 at the Puyallup Research and Extension Center. There should be a link in the chat to that. So if you want to attend that event, please do. But we do ask that you register in advance, and the link is in the chat for you to take a look at how to register for that. It's free. There's no reason, it's a free event. But please plan on attending if you want to attend that event. The Prosser event is on May 20th from 1 to 4. And Susan Inlow-Romine, Naidu, oh my gosh, Rayapati, I'm sure that's not how you say his name, but Naidu, and he's the director of the research station there. Emmanuel and others are working on that event. Again, that's May 20, and there's a link in the chat for that one. And everybody is invited to that event as well. And pre-registration is helpful there, so we know how many people are planning to attend. And then June 10th in Wenatchee at the Tree Fruit Research and Extension Center. That's from 10 to 1. Also, registration is pre-registration is highly encouraged. These are all free events. All volunteers and anybody, community is invited to attend these. And then the Mount Vernon event, we have a website's coming soon for that, but it is July 13th from 10 a.m. to noon. We have a number of elected officials coming. The Dean of Connors will be there, and other VIPs that are still letting us know that they're going to attend. So these events are, they're regional in an effort to make sure that every volunteer across the state has the opportunity to attend a celebration, in recognition of the 50th anniversary and the good work that's being done across our state. And then the culminating event is the WSU Extension Master Gardener Advanced Education Conference, sponsored by the Master Gardener Foundation of Washington State. It is September 27th through the 30th in Tacoma at the Tacoma Marriott. Hotel reservations are now open. And you'll need to go through the Master Gardener AEC site to make those reservations and get the conference rate. And registration opens May 1st. The program is nearly complete. Debbie Benbow is putting in all of the, entering in all of the speakers into the website so that you can see who will be there. And when you register, you'll be able to choose the classes that you want to attend. And then finally, I want you to be on the, help us tell the story all year long by using the social media toolkit. And I think Debbie's putting that in the chat for me. Thank you, Debbie. And then be on the lookout for celebratory stories and videos. So that first story is currently on the Connors website, and pieces of that will be in the WSU Insider, and we'll see who else picks up that story. But then there'll be an accompanying video released on April 3rd, and I'll get that out as soon as I have it. And that video will highlight our history. And then May 1st, there'll be another story that speaks to modern day Master Gardener programming, and a video to accompany that story on May 8th. Looking to the future story will be July 10th, and a video accompanying that story July 13th. And finally, a culminating video on September 20th. So we'll release that during the conference. We're not exactly sure which day yet, but it will be sort of a video that captures our history, our modern day programming, and a look forward. So be on the lookout for all of those things. We're excited to see what those videos look like and share them out across the state. Any questions about the 50th? Has the registration cost for AEC been announced yet? I think it has, but I don't have it off the top of my head. Debbie, do you know? $259 early bird, $299 regular. Thanks, Kathy.
Right, $259 early bird, and that's for Master Gardeners. General admission or registration is going to be $289. So Master Gardeners will get a $30 break on registration.
Thank you. All right, so next, updates on the Endowed Chair campaign. I have a link in here so that you can see those tools that are available to you. There's lots out there, FAQs, all kinds of information for you to read about the campaign. Remind you of the 5 for 5 drive. So that's $5 a month for 5 years, and 5,000 pledges is $1.5 million. This drive has, I think it has has served and is continuing to serve its purpose. Connors Development tells me that we're always getting new pledges in. Most of the pledges are more than $5 a month for 5 years. And it's, driving, it's helping us communicate out about the campaign and why it's important. And then I'm going to skip down to other ways to give. So, there are other ways to give too, other than pledges. So you can do a one-time gift if that's what you prefer and not a pledge. There are planned giving or estate giving. If you're interested in learning about other ways to give, please let me know, and I can put you in contact with our Connors Development Office, and they can help you understand what your options are in terms of leaving a legacy for the next generation of master gardeners or the generation after that. And then I want to get to Cougs Give. Cougs Give is a one-day fundraising event dedicated to expanding, sharing, and celebrating the impact of donor support at Washington State University. This year, it's April 12th, 2023. And it says the Cougar family will come together and give to the scholarships, programs, and experiences that set WSU apart. So essentially, this is a crowdfunding day. And for us, we are raising money in support of that Endowed Chair campaign. Success with these types of crowdfunding days come from challenge gifts or matching gifts. So we have a challenge gift. A donor gave $2,500 to this day, and the first 50 donors will unlock that $2,500. So we need 50 donors. It doesn't matter how much they give, but we need 50 donors on April 12th to give some money to unlock that $2,500. So consider that. I think Debbie put the Cougs Give link in the chat. And then I'm also, these Cougs Give days, they're new to me too, so I'm learning how to do them. But so we've been asked to become Cougar ambassadors. And an ambassador is anyone who wants to do their part to support the success of the Endowed Chair campaign. Because the strength of a Cougs Give day like this, or a challenge day like this, is really social media. So the more we can have the Cougs Give Day out there on our, program pages and our personal social media pages, the more successful we're going to be. If you sign up to be an ambassador, that gives you access to graphics and suggested posts and links that will go directly to our campaign. There's a lot of different campaigns out there for Cougs Give. If you become an ambassador, you'll be able to get a link that will you can share out with over email or on your personal social media pages or your program foundation pages, and you can post a link that will go directly to our Endowed Chair campaign. And what I think is kind of fun about it, as an ambassador, you can see how many donations have come in because of your posts. Sometimes you can see how much. It depends on how the donor gives. Sometimes the donors give anonymously, or they don't want people to know how much money they gave. But you can see the number of people who have given. So I encourage you to sign up. If interested, sign up to be a Cougar ambassador. So our gift, our challenge gift, was made possible by Jerry and Chris Carlson. So thanks to Jerry and Chris. They're both grads of WSU 1977 and 1975. So mark your calendars for April 12th. I think I have, yeah. The 50th anniversary planning team, Debbie Bembo and Kathy Lamoureux, they are working on getting social media posts specifically for Cougs Give, specifically for our Endowed Chair campaign. So we'll have a social media plan ready and available. I will send that plan to program coordinators, and it will be posted on our WSU Master Garden Program website. Hopefully, our goal is April 5th.
Jen, can I jump in for just 1 second?
Please do. Oh, hey, Shalane. I didn't even know you were here.
Yes, I've been here the whole time. I've been waiting for my cue to jump in, but I thought I'd just jump in anyway. Hi, everyone. I'm staying off of camera so that my internet will stay connected and do well. But I just wanted to jump on here, and I need to extend some sincere gratitude and appreciation for this group, because you guys and your passion and drive to see this Endowed Chair Fund become fully funded to benefit all of you in extension has created some buzz in Connors. And everyone is so excited. I am thrilled about it. I love that I'm the liaison that's getting to help fundraise for this Endowed Chair. But with your guys' momentum, your sharing out of the success and your passion for the Master Gardeners program, you've created so much buzz all the way up to Dean Wendy Powers. And she is so excited about this program and helping to fund this, that for Cougs Give, she made this a priority. And she has put this at the top of the list and wants to see this be successful, not just on Cougs Give, but as a whole. So I wanted to give all of you the biggest kudos, because not only are you gaining the attention around the state, but you are creating a buzz within WSU, and our dean is spotlighting you. She sees you, she wants to support you, she's fully supportive, and I'm here to help see it come to fruition. So I just want you all to know that I'm so appreciative of all of you, and I really, really hope that you all will turn out on Cougs Give on our online platforms. I loved that Jennifer was sharing, if you have stories to share and popping those in there, do that on social media as well on Cougs Give Day. Share a great story of your experience with Master Gardeners. Share a link back to Cougs Give so that everyone can come and join and rally together and see this Cougs Give, and specifically the Master Gardeners Fund, be the most successful on that day. I would love to see Master Gardeners just be the most successful fund on Cougs Give that day. And we can do that with all of your help. So if you guys have any questions, need to reach out to someone to connect, just to kind of talk through anything, I am fully available and would love to chat with any and all of you. And then like Jennifer said, we do have that Cougs Give challenge match. We have one, but we also, I'm waiting, I think that my dear friend is in this group, and I'm just waiting to hear back whether we are including his donation in a Cougs Give challenge match as well. So be on the lookout. We could have 2 challenge matches totaling up to $5,000 possibly. So we really just need as much participation as we can get, create further buzz, plant more seeds, tell everybody about it, come turn out and support this Endowed Chair Fund on April 12th. So I look forward to seeing all of you there. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me directly.
Thanks, Shalane. And I'll piggyback one more time. So you said buzz on up to Dean Wendy Powers, but I also learned that President Kirk Scholes is, and he's the president of WSU, all of the campuses. He's giving his State of the University address on March 28th, and he will be mentioning the Master Gardener program in that address. So very cool.
Yes, thank you for adding that, Jennifer. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right, so this is the language that you'll see on Cougs Give, on our link, and that will encourage people to give on Cougs Give Day. And I think that was, So any good of the group, our next meeting is April 27th. Questions or good of the group? We have a few more minutes.
Thank you for spotlighting Clallam there in that last picture. That was, those are 4 of our rock stars in the Clallam County Master Gardener program. So, woo!
Thanks for sharing the photos. That's how we get them. That's, you know, we need them. We need the photos statewide so we can share them. So Sandra was just telling me she's trying to check everybody in. So if you could please put your county with your name, that would be terrific.
I have a question for Erin. When is the next Seeds for Thought coming out? Or when is it a new one out now?
It comes out May 1st.
Thank you.
So any submissions are due April 1st.
It's on my calendar, Erin. I have the date on my calendar. I always do. And you always have to remind me. Okay, so if you, for getting the hours logged for today, if you don't get checked in, you can, Sandra says you can just answer yes to the email when you receive it from GivePulse. Any other questions? Plant sales, how are plant sales? You guys got to be way deep in on the plant sale planning now, huh?
3,000 to over 3,000 tomatoes are currently growing in Skagit County.
Oh my gosh. What's your favorite variety, Diana? For just eating. For just eating.
Sun Gold and Coeur de Bleu.
Coeur de Bleu. I know Sun Gold.
Coeur de Bleu is a Italian Oxheart heirloom.
Okay.
And then we also have 3,000 other kinds, you know, vegetables and flower starts, and then plus trees and lots of perennials. Peonies go really, really well. They're trying hard to get them to bloom.
It's more like 5,000 to 6,000 other plants. That we
Oh my goodness. Holy bucket. That's a lot.
For a small county.
Claire, were you saying something? You're on mute. We can't hear you if you're talking.
County with a crap load of plants. We're overflowing over here.
Yeah.
But it's a really fun day in terms of morale among our group. You know, there's more to it than just making money selling plants. It really brings our whole 140 people together for the planning and the carrying out of the event. So it has a morale building factor as well.
Absolutely. You know, my undergraduate work is in nonprofit management. And the first thing I learned is that events are the most expensive way to raise money. And they are more of a friend raiser than they are a fundraiser, because it brings people together around a common purpose and builds morale and helps, you know, just builds those friends.
We've been managing to do both. We're lucky there.
Yes. Well, it's because all of the volunteer time that goes, if you were to add in all those hours, you guys wouldn't be making any money.
Oh, those expenses.
We don't want to know how much that would be.
No, we don't. We'll never make that addition.
I actually did it once in Chelan County just because I was curious. I was like, oh.
Oh no.
Yeah. I don't think the board could afford Claire and I just to begin with. So that would probably be.
So true.
Right. Exactly.
I have a question. Was the new Hortsense tested on ordinary people? He used a lot of tech language that I've never even heard before. And I'm thinking, I know that the Lawrence can do it, but can the average person navigate the new site? Has it been tested in that way?
Good question.
Yeah, I mean, I think Craig did. There you go. You're still on, Craig. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm still here for a couple minutes. I actually got to go meet Carrie Foss here in a couple minutes, so I'm going to be going. But I know that I'm a little techy. I tried to not get too technical. I'm just an ordinary master gardener. I hope that you will all stress test this and provide feedback. Our hope was to be able to go into some of the clinics with it ahead of time, but it just didn't end up being practical to do that. So please provide feedback if you're having any difficulties. Maybe those are questions that we'll add into our FAQ.
Thanks, Craig.
I want to thank you all. I've got to run. Carrie's
you.
going to be waiting for me, but have a great day.
Same here. We're getting ready to welcome Dr. Linda Chalker-Scott here in Clallam County today for a Master Gardener Green Thumb presentation about diagnosing environmental stress.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's very cool. It's kind of like the presentation that Linda Chalker-Scott gave at the 2022 Advanced Education Conference last year.
Okay.
But she's adding more to it. So
okay. Great.
Very, very exciting. And I hope you all have a fabulous day too.
All right. Thanks, Harmony. Enjoy the rest of your day. And we'll see everybody back here on April 27th. Thanks for joining us this morning. And thank you for spreading the word with your local folks.
Thank you. Great meeting.
Jennifer, how do we get a hold of Craig if we have comments?
Oh.